I'm so happy that you decided to join me. Please say hello and where you're from. You can put comments in the comment section. Of course, watch on Vitatree.com. And you are here live shopping with me. Now, this is a fantastic deal day that we have for you with some of my absolute favorites and maybe the things that you haven't heard before, in the fact that we can do things naturally for a lot of, common ailments and even weight loss. We'll talk about that a lot, balancing blood glucose levels. That's all in today's Deal Day show. All right. Now, this is a very limited time offer as long as we have quantity, and it's only for the 24 hours for our first items. All right. So we're talking about our Acu blood sugar balance. We're going to go into that. But more importantly, let's talk about collagen. That is our other Deal Day item for today. And you're saving up to 35% for today only for the next 24 hours on these two items. So our Acu blood sugar balance, I'll go into a full presentation, what that's all about, as well as our collagen. This is where we're going to start today. A hydrolyzed bovine grass-fed collagen, talking about these deals. So check them out on Vitatree.com. And if you just want to look at the value really quickly, okay, this is extraordinary. It's only for today. Again, our 2 pouches of our hydrolyzed bovine grass-fed collagen, and this is at as low as price as $53.98 US. I mean, this is incredible. Now, that's on subscription. You don't need to go that route, but this is our most popular option because you also get free shipping when you're going on subscription. You can cancel at any time, but that's a great way to shop today, especially on our collagen, as we have quantity and as supplies last. All right, the one-time deal is $59.98, and that is 25% off. So you're saving $20. All right, so this is amazing. Now, collagen. There's a lot of hype around collagen. A lot of people take collagen, but not necessarily getting the results potentially that you're looking for with your collagen. Now, what makes the Vitatree collagen so different is that this is from grass-fed cows from Europe. And the great thing about that is that it has that high absorption because it is hydrolyzed, meaning that it has been gone through that enzymatic practice to be able to make it highly digestible. And these are our collagen peptides. And when we look at collagen, we want to make sure that we're getting the right type. And the hydrolyzed bovine collagen is a type 1 and type 3 collagen. Now, this is important. Type 1 is for strength and for giving those collagen peptides to actually make your skin so much healthier, but for your keratin in your nails, for great hair growth. This is where I've seen the greatest changes in my own hair growth when starting the Vitatree collagen. But also that type 3 collagen is for elasticity. So let's go on over here. I'm going to show you really quickly why this is important. So when we're talking about tensile and elastic strength in our connective tissues, when we talk about our joints, this is really important when you're taking the right type of collagen, which of course with your 1 scoop a day of the Vitatree collagen, you're getting the type 1 and type 3. Now this is important because that's going to help with your tendons, your ligaments, in terms of maintaining that flexibility and that agility, mobility in your joints, which of course is very anti-aging. This is basically for longevity. And as much as we think of collagen, of course, for the beauty aspects, this is so important for your longevity. Now, I also want to point out the fact that that type 1 and type 3 collagen, especially the type 3, is really important for your artery health and maintaining that flexibility, that elasticity in your artery walls. That's really important for cardiovascular health, of course, and for that blood flow through the arteries. All right. So another great advantage of taking your 1 scoop a day of your Vitatree collagen. And this is what it looks like. So you're going to get this little scooper in your pouch. Each scoop is 10 grams of collagen peptides. Okay. 10 grams of protein as well. So if you're trying to up your protein, which is something that can be really hard to do in terms of proper digestion and absorption of even the proteins that you're trying to get in your diet, this is a great way to add now extra protein into your diet. Now, the way that I like to take my collagen is just like this. So in some coffee, and I haven't yet had my collagen for today. I usually reserve my coffee. So I don't know about you. I've done videos on this. if you're following me on social media. And if you're new here, please say hello and where you're from. Thank you for joining in today. Good morning from Wisconsin, you too. Nice to have you here. S. Johnson, hello in Hampton, Georgia. Great to have you here. It's Vermont, I think, was here. Killing Me Softly, hello. Thanks for tuning in today. Great to have you here. And thanks for joining the conversation. As well as if you have questions, just go on over to Vitatree.com and you can add your questions into the conversation there. There you see, it's totally gone as I'm talking. And it melts right into your coffee. So you can do this in a hot beverage, a cold beverage, and what my little hack though, if you want to put it into a cold, let's say an iced latte, which is amazing, is have your cup of your ice and your milk in your finishing cup that you're going to drink from, and then you're going to brew your hot coffee, melt in your collagen in that one, and then of course pour that over the cold, and absolutely delicious. Now this is unflavored collagen, so it's very versatile. I actually bake with it. I make coconut macaroons. You can check out my recipes on my social media pages, which is amazing. But this is so great. I add it to my protein smoothies and shakes. I add it to my waffles in the morning. It's great for making your own high protein ice cream as well. It helps to bind. So instead of having to add things like gargum and agar-agar into, some of your ice cream recipes, you can use the collagen. It helps to bind that ice cream, and you can keep it high protein and low carb. All right. So that is your pouch that you will be getting. Just again, it's only for today. All right. This is our deal day. It only happens probably once a year on this actual item. So I can't guarantee you'll see this deal again for another year. So maybe next November, you'll see this again on subscription price. I mean, this is incredible value. If I could see our regular pricing on this one, I know we have a slide. I just want to show you that really quickly so that if you're to buy it, a couple days from now, our regular price is $79.98 US. Okay. Can you see this difference? Just for today, our deal day price is $53.99. As low as this, of course, on subscription. And that is definitely the best way to shop. Once you start taking this, if you're new to Vitatree, you will be so impressed because you'll start to actually absorb these nutrients. And that's true to all of my formulations. I am the formulator. And if you've seen me on social media, hello, I'm Dr. Janine. I am the formulator, and I'm really picky about ingredients. I'm a perfectionist. I look for the very best. We source the very, very best, highest quality ingredients without the fillers, without the flow agents, true to all the Vitatree formulations, which we'll go through. We also have our men's formula will be coming up, but really quickly, I want to show you our reviews, some of them that we have on the collagen. So morning routine staple. This is from Valeria. And, she said, every morning I know I'm getting an amazing start to my day with this great grass-fed beef collagen. When I'm out and can't enjoy it, my whole day is affected. Highly recommend, and I'm a lifelong user. Well, thank you, Valeria. Thank you so much. Okay, Nicole said, to me, this product is excellent, and I would give it 10 stars. I use Vitatree collagen every morning in my coffee. I have also put my subscription for 2 pouches a month, which is amazing. So, Nicole, good on ya. I'm sure you're looking and feeling your best. Your joints as well. Bone density is another thing that I didn't even get to talk about with getting in your Vitatree collagen every day. And it's the best from Grace. It's the best product. I recommend it to everyone who wants to try it. So thank you so much to everybody who shares your testimonials, your reviews. It's so fantastic to always hear all of, the positivity and the great news that I get on social media. And, a question came in from Jennifer, Dr. Janine, can I mix the collagen powder into something like cold, like juice or a smoothie too? Absolutely. It will mix in, so you've just got to keep stirring it. Eventually it completely disappears and you don't even know that it's there, which is great. Not some of the collagen flavored ones that are out there, they're not as versatile. And that's why I like the unflavored, which is amazing because that means that it's going to be easy for you to be able to use and mix. All right. We're moving on to our next item. Thank you for joining me today for Deal Day. It only happens today. Okay. And this is only for the next 24 hours on these 2 products. So our collagen is just a 24-hour deal. After tomorrow, it's going back up to regular price. Our next item, which I love, Acu Blood Sugar Balance. Again, one of my favorites because it helps to balance blood glucose levels. And that's how I designed it. And when we look at the raw materials, the ingredients in the formula, you'll appreciate how this is working to stabilize your insulin levels, your blood glucose. And we know that there's, some conventional things that are out there that are very popular right now. It's like a once a week treatment kind of thing. originally designed for diabetics and for balancing blood glucose levels. But what was the side effect? What was the offshoot of taking, those once a week things is that there was dramatic weight loss. Well, did you know that there are natural herbal ingredients that can have the same types of effects because they're balancing blood glucose? And the great side effect is the weight loss. And we have great testimonials from our customers using this product. All right. So the AccuBlood Sugar Balance often is maybe a missing link for you in terms of maybe you haven't made that connection that you have insulin resistance, and maybe you've got, something with your leptin happening, and some things that I write about in my book, which we'll talk about in a few minutes as well. So this becomes important to know that these herbal medicines can actually help with stabilizing blood glucose levels. So whether it is the muscadine grape skin, as we can see, African wild mango seed, and by the way, these all have studies behind them in the fact that it can actually stabilize those blood glucose levels. Gymnema sylvester, I was looking at some research in terms of GLP-1 agonists and making some correlations here. This has actually been studied for Gymnema sylvester and having that similar type of effect. White mulberry as well. And again, all of these Mother Nature given ingredients have the ability to stabilize that insulin response, helps with insulin resistance, helps to increase your proper metabolism of your carbs, your fats, and your proteins at the same time as being able to access that body fat. So when you're spiking your insulin and you have insulin resistance, even if you're doing your diet, your exercise, and this is a lot of people that are watching right now, I know this, because you've maybe done the calorie deficit, you're doing your exercise, and you're watching the diet, you're watching your carbohydrates even, and your blood glucose levels may not be balanced. They may be, but you still can't access that body fat. Well, this can be related to that insulin resistance. And this is why it's so important to know that, this can actually now sort of translate itself into something a little bit more serious. When you've got a few of the symptoms on this chart, this would be symptoms of metabolic syndrome, which the AccuBlood Sugar Balance addresses as well. So whether that is maybe skin tags, if you get those little skin tags, it could be browning of the folds of skin around your neck and just sort of dark spots that don't go away, fatigue, inability to focus, high blood pressure, low HDL, high triglycerides, high fasting glucose levels, central obesity. So that belly fat, yes, this is going to be addressed with helping to balance out those insulin levels. And this is amazing, even for polycystic ovaries, when we're talking about having at least 3 of some of these. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, very common. And we see here either the apple body shape or the pear body shape, very common because that central obesity has, that fat. And it's, when you're trying to lose weight, let's be honest, usually that is, the most difficult place to lose that weight is in the midsection. And that's why I love the fact that we've never seen this price before, just so that you know, on the AccuBlood Sugar Balance, that's such an incredible discount. So again, on our subscription, if we can see our regular pricing again, I want to show you that really quickly. But on subscription, as low as $54.52 USD, our regular price on the AccuBlood is $80.78. Okay, so we are slashing this price. And look at that, just for today, just for the next 24 hours, I want you to try this. If you've not yet tried our AccuBlood Sugar Balance, if you're a Vitatree lover, please give me a thumbs up. Love to have you here. Thank you for tuning in today. But this is so important to know that now we have that great offer happening just for today on the AccuBlood Sugar Balance at $54.53. Now, the standard dosage on this is 2 capsules per day. And if you don't like to swallow capsules, you can always open up the Vitatree products into, a drink, into your oatmeal. It doesn't matter. I actually like this twice a day now. I used to take the 2 capsules together after I would have my highest carb meal. Now, because of some of the research that I looked on the Gymnema, and just one of the herbal medicines in the formula, I like to split this up. So 1 capsule before my lunch and 1 capsule mid-afternoon, sometime before my dinner, which makes, all the difference now in stabilizing that blood glucose and your insulin levels. And did you know, so something that you're going to learn in my book, if you haven't yet read it, is that this is, and yes, you can order from Canada, Pet K Red. Thank you for tuning in today. Absolutely. Check them out on the Vitatree website. All right. So the lost medicine, I do talk about, weight loss is one of the chapters, and also also what we do in our modern environment with all of our artificial lighting is that spikes our blood glucose as well. So you may not even be eating the carbohydrates. And the research shows that especially that blue light at night, that is something that can spike your blood glucose levels and cause that insulin resistance. So maybe that's a reason if you're on tech a lot, if you're on, your screen and you don't shut things down after the sun has set, maybe that's why you're having difficulty losing that weight related back to what's going on with your signaling in terms of your circadian biology. So that becomes really important to balance your blood sugar levels. All right. So with the AccuBlood reviews, love this. I do want to say we have an update from Cynthia. Now, Cynthia, she's not seen here, but she's someone who has used the AccuBlood Sugar Balance, and she was taking it to help to balance her blood sugar. She had a great side effect of 23 pounds of weight loss, and she thinks maybe it's even more than that the last time I heard from her, because she said she ran into a friend of hers and she's like, what happened to you? Because she had lost so much weight, and then she was getting into her, winter wardrobe now, and nothing was fitting her because she lost so much weight from taking the AccuBlood Sugar Balance. So if you need to lose weight and you've been struggling with that, this is for you. 2 capsules a day, really, really easy to do. Okay, it works. I've been taking this for over a year, and I have noticed quite a difference in my levels. So blood sugar levels. It's definitely helped manage my blood sugar. So from Cheryl, thank you so much for sharing your great news. Now from Kelly, I ordered AccuBlood for my husband. It is working on that stubborn weight around his waist. I noticed he slimmed down after just taking 1 bottle, along with the fat factors. So we will be talking about the fat factors. I believe it's in another hour of my shows today. So we'll be talking about that as well. And that combination is fantastic. Okay, AccuBlood is amazing from Lisa. I bought this for my mom, and she is thrilled. It actually helps and is natural. So thank you so much for all of your great testimonials. Okay, we're going to take a look at something little, and I'll be right back. So if you're struggling with your health and you haven't yet found the answers, maybe the answer is here for you from Mother Nature. Order yours today. All right, so that is coming up. We will be talking about my latest book, The Lost Medicine, Rediscovering Mother Nature's Prescription. That is coming up. Okay, we're moving on now. Quick, it's a lot of shopping that's happening today. How's everybody doing? Great to have you all here. Thank you, Idana Polioni. To lower cholesterol, please check out the Vitatree website. There is a cholesterol lowering formula, which is specifically theirs for cholesterol, so you can check that out. As well as there's a coenzyme Q10 formula, which is great for balancing out cardiovascular health. So you can check those both out. Let's move on now. We're going to talk about the Vita Detox. Okay, so I formulated this probably 18 years ago. It's one of the very first products that I formulated for Vitatree, all about full body detoxification and heavy metal detoxification, which becomes very important, especially in our modern world, when our body is holding on to things like heavy metals. So whether that's mercury, aluminum, even if you think you don't have these exposures, we do, unfortunately. And now what's become very important is the fact that we have a lot of electromagnetic frequencies and not natural ones, unfortunately. And that can now wreak havoc, and we're not feeling well because we have a lot of cell phone use. We use our Wi-Fi and all these things. Now, the more heavy metals you actually have in your system, and you don't necessarily know that they're there because they bioaccumulate. So your body actually holds on to them unless you're actively doing something to help to get rid of all of these toxins and these heavy metals. Then your body, think about, we know that electricity and radiation is affected. That's why if you go and have an x-ray done, they say take off your chain, take off your jewelry. You can't have that on. Well, because we know that radiation reacts with metals. Imagine you're loaded with heavy metals. So that's one of the big aspects in our modern world with all of our technology and EMF exposure, is that this can really exacerbate, our health problems if we've got those heavy metals. So that's one of the big reasons to definitely, especially here and now, to be doing a full body detox and addressing all of those internal organs at once, and doing that regularly. And that's why I'm a big proponent of doing that full body detox. With the Vita Detox, you're doing this at least 3 to 4 times a year. So once per season. So if you've not yet done your full-time detox getting into winter, this is the time. All right. So you can check out the Vita Detox on Vitatree.com. And what are our symptoms of toxicity? Because we think, okay, I'm getting a lot of headaches, for instance. Did you know that that could be related to that internal toxicity and those EMFs even? Migraines, fatigue, irritability, memory loss, blocked arteries. So for cardiovascular health, fatty liver is definitely something that I hear about all the time now. Skin changes. So acne, eczema, psoriasis, rashes, dry patches, sore joints and muscles, bloating, stomach pain. So the gas and the bloating and all of these, gut health issues definitely could be a problem. And of course, when we're talking about even brain function, memory loss, anxiety could be related to that toxicity as well. And that's why, doing that great full body detox is something that you can definitely do. And it's very, very gentle. If we look at the ingredients in the formula, you'll appreciate that it's really, and something that I address in my social media. If you've seen me talk about, doing the protocols for detoxification, that these are all natural herbal medicines. And yes, if you are constipated, so I'm just going to call this out right away, because a lot of people think, oh, cleansing, I'm going to be running to the bathroom, and maybe you've tried a cleanser or detox before and you had that negative side effect. This is not that. This is very different. So this is very gentle. And one of the ingredients, if you are constipated, the cascara in just the right milligram amounts is going to gently get things moving. So maybe, I know a lot of people actually use this formula just because they do have chronic constipation, just to get things moving. So your body remembers how to properly eliminate again. But also, we have the dandelion, which is great for your liver detox, burdock for the blood and for the lungs, and is great for helping to clean up your blood, as well as chlorella, which is part of that heavy metal. So this is going to be like a chelator. It helps to trap those heavy metal toxins that I was talking about earlier. If you're just tuning in, milk thistle, of course, helps to regenerate, but also helps to detoxify your liver and your kidneys as well. Horsetail, which is full of natural silicone, which is really important for strong hair, skin, and nails, something else that we'll talk about today throughout the shows. But this is great for your kidney detox, parsley for your kidneys as well. Cascara, like I said, gently gets things moving through the digestive tract, and bearberry. And you'll notice without the fillers and flow agents. And this is something that's so important, because most supplements out there, if you didn't know, they're loaded with things like magnesium stearate, titanium dioxide, silicon dioxide. Here we go with some of the other things in terms of Vitatree being very different, formulated. If this looks familiar, yes, that's me by myself, naturopathic doctor, and whole food supplements without the magnesium stearate. So that's really important. And without the fillers or other flow agents. And that, true to the Vitatree brand. When I learned this in my practice as a naturopath, and I was prescribing often these very expensive and supposedly the best professional brand vitamins. And then I learned about the fact that they had all these fillers and flow agents. I'm like, what? How can this be? So that's one of the big, big reasons why I decided to formulate my own vitamins. And yeah, it's grown, immensely over the last, I've been on television now in Canada, talking about Vitatree for the last 16 and a half years or so. And of course, I love the fact that I get to educate everyone. And now I'm doing it here on social media. So welcome on in. So if you're tuning in for the first time, it's so great to have you here. Flower, thank you so much for the thumbs up. Great, great, great. Kathy, this is fantastic. Can you take the AccuBlood even if you don't have a problem with your sugar levels? Absolutely. Yes, because it could be something that is going to help to stabilize and keep your blood sugar stable as you're aging, which is important, but also these unforeseen reasons like our blue light toxicity and screen time and being under, the energy efficient lights when we're talking about our blood sugar balance, that can spike our blood glucose levels. And that's been shown in the research. Now, any artificial light after night, if you look up those, some of those studies, which I do have in my social media, if you look up some of those videos, you'll see the links that we share that artificial light at night will spike your blood glucose. So it might be a good reason for more of us to be taking the blood sugar balance, even if you don't have diabetes. And that's a great question though, Kathy. Thank you for asking that. And all right, Kathy is saying, you're on the detox, so you're taking the Vita Detox right now. Thank you, Kathy, for sharing. And it's amazing and very gentle. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I know it feels so good. All right, so what I'm doing here is stirring up toxins, and what other detoxes and cleanses do is there can be pushing those toxins from one toxic place to another. All right. And that's often why you get the diarrhea, the headaches. You don't feel great when you do other types of detoxes and cleanses. Now, the Vita Detox is very different because yes, we want to ask those organs to be more efficient at getting rid of those toxins, but because we're working on all of the organs at once, so the liver, the lungs, it's, going to detoxify the blood, the lymphatics, the heavy metals, as well as the kidneys, your skin as well. If you've got chronic skin issues, this is fantastic because it's detoxing all of them at once. It works like that filter. Even a bit of weight loss can happen with the Vita Detox. So if you're looking to lose weight, a great combination might be the Vita Detox plus the AccuBlood that we're featuring today for our deal day. What a great combo. And we will, I think in a later show today, I'll be talking about our fat factors as well. If you're really, tired of being overweight and you just want to, I gotta try something different. Yeah, this would be the way to go. So starting with our AccuBlood for the weight loss would be fantastic. Of course, that is a deal day item today. Special pricing just for today for 24 hours, $54.53, as low as this price on subscription. As well as our collagen is being featured as a deal day item as well. And of course, our men's formula is coming up. So for the guys, really important for prostate and maintaining a healthy prostate, and for energy, stamina, that is coming up. And for addressing stress in your life, guys, stick around for the men's formula. That is coming up. All right. We are continuing on now with our vitamin D3. Okay, so vitamin D3, we know that for a lot of people at this time of year, there could be a bit of a deficiency that's starting and happening. Of course, the angle of the sun, zenith angle of the sun, no longer is allowing for making of our own vitamin D on our skin like it did in the summertime. And this is where a lot of people can run into this vitamin D3 deficiency and a lot of the symptoms associated with this. Now, to have a healthy vitamin D3 level, of course, we need the UVB, but what we also need is happy and healthy liver function and kidney function. And this is why some people might not be able to have that proper functioning because they have toxicity in these organs. So it may be something that we definitely want to address with the Vita Detox. This can really help. But also, when we're talking about our vitamin D, let's look at some of the symptoms of being low in that vitamin D3. All right. So when we look at the symptoms of being low in D3, maybe we don't have it. All right. It's coming up. All right. So our D3 deficiency symptoms. So you could have fatigue. You could be lacking in energy. You could also have some, issues with the ability to have strong bones and teeth. Also, high blood pressure could be related to this. Muscle aches and pains could be related to that low D3. And of course, if you are having difficulty with your bone density, as we know, vitamin D3 is going to ensure that your calcium is getting into your bones. And so that's going to be important as well. And for blood glucose levels, we actually need to maintain our healthy vitamin D3 levels. So when we are taking vitamin D3 in a format that has that proper digestion and absorption, so it needs to be in that fat soluble form, that becomes important. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but I can't see the slides. All right, so let's continue. All right, there. Okay, this is what I was waiting for. Thanks, guys. All right, so yeah, so here we can see the symptoms of vitamin D deficiency as I went through. So it could be our dental health. It could be even spasms and chronic issues with our lungs. Even our blood glucose levels could be suffering, of course, bone density, muscle aches. If you get a lot of pain and low back pain can be related to that vitamin D. Just that inflammatory response tends to be heightened when you're lacking in your vitamin D. High blood pressure, as I said, and of course the low energy and fatigue. You just don't have that same type of energy that you did when you were getting a lot of sunlight exposure, and optimizing that becomes very important. Now, what makes the vitamin D3 so different from Vitatree is that you can see these are soft little gel caps that are chewable, and they're absolutely delicious. They taste like little lemonade candies, and they're so yummy. So they are chewable. Each capsule is standardized to 1,000 international units of vitamin D3, which is our best form of taking a supplement when we're supplementing with vitamin D3. So depending on the dosage that has been recommended to you, here in Canada, the dosage that is recommended by Health Canada is actually 2,500 international units of D3. But this is what makes this so unique, is that it's so easy to take, so great for the kids as well. They are delicious chewables, and they're in a soft gel, so it's like a chewable soft gel. It's kind of like a lemonade little candy, tastes like lemonade. Great for all ages and for children. Standardized to 1,000 international units per soft gel, and has the carrier molecule of MCT. So MCT is medium chain triglycerides from coconuts, and that's going to enhance the absorption of our vitamin D3, which is so, so important. It's all about, the type that you take, but also for the fact that it needs to be properly absorbed. And not all vitamin D3s, especially if they're in a hard tablet or they've got a lot of those fillers and flow agents, very different from the Vitatree vitamin D3. All right, let's take a look at some testimonials really quickly, specifically on the Vitatree vitamin D3, which I love. This is from Jay. I use D3 in combination with magnesium and have found my health is maintained in a positive way. The twitching of my calf muscles have reduced. Yeah, muscle twitches and aches. There could be some kind of discrepancy in the balance between your calcium, magnesium, your other electrolytes, and your D3 status. So that is amazing, Jay. Okay. Also from Sylvia. I love the taste of these. They are small and easy to swallow as well. So yeah, you don't need to chew them. You can either chew them or swallow them. And just a little side note for the little ones. So if you have children, grandchildren, even yourself, you might be tempted to eat a lot more. So just keep them away from little people's hands that might want to help themselves and think that they're just candies, because they are, in fact, a vitamin D3, which is actually a hormone. So it is a hormone that our body makes. All right. And Maria said these work so well. I had a vitamin D level of 41 3 months after starting these. It's up to 137. That is amazing. I'm so glad. See, Maria noticed how well they were absorbed for her. It worked really well. So thank you for sharing all your great testimonials. If you're just tuning in right now, this is Deal Day at Vitatree. I'm Dr. Janine, the formulator of all the products. Take a look at this and I'll be right back.
We're so glad you joined us for Vitatree Live Shopping with Dr. Janine Bowring. Stock up and save up to 35% on your favorite Vitatree products at Vitatree.com. Need help or have a question? Call 1-844-GET-WELL or email our team at hello@Vitatree.com or chat with us in the comments for live answers from Dr. Janine.
All right. So if you need to get in touch with the team, you can always ask your questions, send an email, which is great. The Vitatree team is amazing. Any type of question, maybe you're taking medications or things you're not sure if you can take the Vitatree products or when best to take them. Most of our customers, I believe, they start with maybe 1 or 2 Vitatree products, and then lo and behold, you start to feel the difference, because they are so different because of that high absorption, highest quality of raw materials without the fillers and flow agents, very different from most supplements that are out there and whole food based. And then you start to maybe experiment with some of the other products. And today's a great time. If you're new to Vitatree, it's a great time to be tuning in today, because we have Deal Day, which is brand new, our live shopping. This is brand new here. And I'm so excited to be your host and your guest. Usually on television, I work with someone else, but I get to do it all here in our live shopping, which is amazing. And of course, just reminding you, if you're just tuning in now, we started off the hour talking about the AccuBlood sugar balance and our collagen. So these two items are our Deal Day items. Collagen is a grass-fed hydrolyzed collagen and high absorption, unflavored, easy to mix into anything, really. I like it in my coffee, but because it is so versatile, it's unflavored, you can really mix it into anything. 10 grams of collagen peptides, okay, with high absorption. and from grass-fed cows. So that is an incredible offer. Our regular price is $79.98. Okay, so $80, and we're down at $53.99, as low as that price. On subscription, you can cancel it at any time. Of course, we have a one-time offer as well. And we have payments. So you can do this in partial payments. If you just want to get your toes wet a little bit with Vitatree, you can split up your payments and spread that over time just so that you can try and see how much you love the products. All right. The Active Blood Sugar Balance, all about balancing blood glucose levels. And maybe a great side effect of weight loss for those of you who may be looking for something like that. It's definitely all the rage right now. We've heard about it in mainstream. But this is a natural way to do things. All right. Regular price, $80.78. I mean, it's almost unbelievable to me, these pricing on a deal day. Just for the 24 hours, our deal day items, $54.53. So you might want to lock that in on subscription, and you can have and benefit from that price for the next year. All right. So that is amazing. And we will get to the men's formula, but let's talk a little bit about probiotics. All right. So probiotics, maybe one of the most misunderstood types of supplements to take. Yes, they are live. Okay. They are live microorganisms, but they're supposed to be in our gut. And not all strains of probiotics are created equal. Now, what makes the strains at Vitatree so different is that these are the ones that I used in my practice with my patients for years, and always had the best efficacy, always had the best results, designed for your human digestive tract. So that becomes very important in terms of how well these are going to work. And the two strains are Lactobacillus acidophilus and Bifidobacterium bifidum. So for both the small and the large intestine. Now, these have been tested. Not true for all probiotics that are out there, but the two strains that we specifically have in the Vitatree probiotics have been tested to be acid stable. All right. So what that means is that they bypass stomach acid and they maintain their viability once they get to both the small and large intestine. And this is going to be great for digestive health, but for so many other aspects why we need to have enough of the good guys or probiotics. There is something called dysbiosis. All right. So when we have normal, when we've got enough of our acidophilus and bifidus as an example, our probiotics are good live flora in our gut microbiome, then we have good health. All right. Our skin looks great. Our skin barrier functions fantastic. We have good digestion, no gas, no bloating. Well, a little bit of gas and bloating, I'm going to say, is somewhat normal, but we don't have gut health issues, proper bowel movements, tons of energy, we digest our food, we're proper body weight. Everything's good when we've got enough. But what happens with dysbiosis, you can see the first stage is just a relative decrease in the amount of good guys, our probiotics. Then this can get worse, all right? So now what's happening is that some of those bad guys can get in. If you've heard of those unwanted organisms and candida and some of these things, that can start to take over. And now stage 3, stage 4, they're overwhelming that microbiome. That's dysbiosis. And that can give you lots of signs and symptoms of that dysbiosis. So when we've got those symptoms, we can see that, there we go. So whether it is, it could be the frequent bowel movements, it could be constipation, it could be sort of IBS, it's going, constipation, then a bit of diarrhea, then constipation again. It could be a lot of gas, unpleasant taste in the mouth, possibly belching as well, pain and abdominal distension, so you're very bloated. Changes in appetite. So often it could be decreased, but it could be heightened appetite, usually for the wrong foods. So things like your carbohydrates, your sugars, as well as feeling nauseous. That could be all related to that dysbiosis. Another big symptom is the rashes. So it could be the eczema, the psoriasis, related back to, and even acne related back to what's happening with that imbalance in your gut bacteria. Now, when we look at what can be going on in your head, so in terms of your mood, your energy levels, your anxiety levels can be related to what's going on in your gut as well. And there's something called the gut-brain axis. So we'll go back there and I'll show you that in just a second. But ideally, we want to have enough of the good guys. And when you're taking your probiotics from Vitatree every day, you're getting your Lactobacillus acidophilus, Bifidobacterium bifidum. You're making sure that you're sort of overwhelming. You're giving enough of these good guys, not even overwhelming, that's the wrong word, but you're giving enough of these good guys to your digestive tract. That's health. That's over 80% of your immunity comes from having that healthy gut microbiome. Okay, now what happens when you don't have enough of those good guys is that those bad guys, so this, I know he doesn't look that scary because he's smiling, but yeah, those bad guys can start to take over those unwanted organisms, all right? So what happens now is that you've got the gas, the bloating, the eczema, the psoriasis, the acne, the weight gain. And your immune system is not good. You're getting sick all the time. That's the unhealthy microbiome. So ideally, you want to get back to having that healthier microbiome. And guess what? If one of those bad guys tries to get in, it's crowded out on the intestinal wall. It can't penetrate. It can't get into that dysbiosis that I just showed you because it's crowded out. So that's really important, especially when I just want to call out here really quickly that gut-brain axis, which is so important in terms of our mental health even. And we know that our outlook and how great we feel every day has to be related to the fact that we've got enough of those good probiotics. So we've got, of course, that dysbiosis happening. So a lot of those bad guys taking over, then there are neuromediators. And this is like a two-way street here that can affect the gut. The gut affects the microbiome. And this goes back to the brain via the vagus nerve as well. So there's a problem here, and we want to put enough of those good guys back in. So super simple with the Vitatree probiotics. Again, keep these in the fridge. So after you've opened up the bottle, I prefer that you keep this in the fridge. Go to Vitatree.com. You can learn more about the actual probiotics. But this is important. 2 to 4 capsules a day is your standard dosage. There are 60 capsules in the bottles. So if you're taking 2 a day, this is a 30-day supply, but you have different options for purchasing the Vitatree probiotics. But as I said, once you've opened up the bottle, probiotics, as we know, are sensitive to heat and moisture as well. So just keep it in the fridge after you've opened your bottle. If you live in a hot climate, lucky for you, especially now for us as Canadians here, this is going to be, something that's great. Susan is asking, is the men's formula on sale starting today? Yes, it is. So it should be at the sale price if you check it out. So definitely check it out on the website, Vitatree.com. And yeah, it is our deal day. So anybody who's just tuning in right now, thank you for tuning in. We started off the show talking about our collagen at a fabulous deal. I mean, regular price is $79.98. We're at $53.99 just for today, and whilst quantities last. So that's important as well, because when we run out, we run out. That's all we have. And of course, at $53.99, that's free shipping as well on subscription pricing. Now that you have the one-time offer as well, so you can check that out on the website. And again, our Acu blood sugar balance, all about balancing our blood glucose levels, great for that belly fat, which is amazing. And that is a regular price of $80.78. Okay. And it's as low as 50 for 53 US. Of course, we do have Canadian pricing as well. You can check that out. But thank you for joining me today. It's so great to have you all here. Thank you for saying hello, and tuning in. Jennifer is asking, will the Vita Detox that we talked about earlier detox your body from the vitamins you take? No, it will not. So that's really important to note, that it doesn't wash away all your good stuff. A lot of cleanses and detoxes can be a bit harsh on your electrolytes. They flush out all your good stuff. No, the Vita Detox is very gentle. It will not do that. All right. So really quickly, we just finished talking about the probiotics. Very gentle. Very natural. I've been using all my life. Okay, this is from Dawn on the probiotics. Gut feels at ease after taking this product. Will not use another probiotic. Simply the best. Helps you go as well. So great for your probiotics and your microbiome. Jamie said, awesome. Best probiotic out there. Digestive health is back to normal. Thank you so much. A 5-star perfect review. And another one from Tina Jones. Really helped my son. Well, I'm so glad that you're taking care of your son, Tina. Amazing. And I'm so glad that it worked for him and probably the whole family as well. I mean, in our house, it's a problem. So if we run out of those probiotics, so we always have it in the fridge, and my kids are great. If they have a bit of a tummy ache, they know just to go and take their probiotics. If they're not feeling well, mom can have some extra probiotics. Yeah, the kids just know that's what really helps them. And remember, because we don't have the fillers and flow agents, no magnesium stearate in any of my formulations at Vitatree, you get that rapid absorption. And even if you've tried vitamins before and you're like, oh, vitamins, they're okay, they're a waste of money, they don't really work for me, you've got to try Vitatree. I'm telling you, it's very, very different. And that's what we keep hearing time and time again from our testimonials, that they really are truly different in terms of the formulation, but in how well and they are absorbed. All right, I think we're moving on to my book, my latest book. This is my 3rd book. It became a bestseller in like 2.5 days. So thank you to everyone who has purchased already the Lost Medicine. If you're new here and tuning in, welcome on in. I'm Dr. Janine, the formulator of all the Vitatree products, which we're talking about. And this is my third book. It's called The Lost Medicine, Rediscovering Mother Nature's Prescription. And, a lot of work and time and effort went into writing this. All my other books took much less time. Let's just put it that way. This one took, finish from beginning to finish, and at the end 5 years. I mean, it was crazy. I did a lot of research, and you'll appreciate, unlike my other books, that I actually included a lot of the references. So even on the first chapter, all about light, if you've seen me on social media talking all about why sunlight is so important, why I really break it down and give you a lot of references as to what the science is teaching us and telling us in terms of why natural light exposure. It's like 2 and almost 3 pages of references just on the light chapter as to why it's so important that we reconnect with nature. And, making these assumptions that, our modern world is great for us, maybe not so much. We've become so disconnected from, our natural environment that it's important that we reconnect. So some of the chapters in the book include light, as I said, natural sunlight exposure, how to do it naturally and safely, how to maximize your circadian rhythms. I talk about sound and sound frequency and different frequencies that you can listen to be able to actually heal your cells. Sleep, grounding, if you don't know what that is, electromagnetic fields, blue light toxicity, leptin resistance, water, diet, cold thermogenesis, heat exposure and saunas, the eye-brain network, exercise, the gut microbiome, which we just talked about, and detoxification. I talk about that in the book as well if you want to learn more. Mineral imbalances and electrolytes, natural beauty tips. I've included some of my favorites, weight loss as well, and the mind-body-spirit connection. So it's all in the book. If you haven't yet picked it up, I encourage you this is a great gift to give to friends, loved ones. It's really for the most healthy person, for longevity, and just learning some tips and tricks. And that's what a lot of the feedback that I'm getting is like, oh, I love your tips for better vision. I mean, I just give you these action easy tips that you can just follow. There's QR codes in the book as well that you can check out directly to the links to my videos, to learn extra tips as well. So it's all in the book. You're going to love it. It is on the website on Vitatree.com. So check it out. And thanks to everybody who is tuning in today. All right. So yeah, take a look at this, all about the book. So if you're struggling with your health and you haven't yet found the answers, maybe the answer is here for you from Mother Nature. Order yours today. All right. So there you go. Talking about our next product now. We're moving on to zinc. If you're just tuning in, thank you for joining me on Deal Day. This is very new for us here for live shopping online. So thank you for joining me. And it's great to have you here. I love your questions that are coming in. Taylor, it's a great gift, to pick up the book. So please, think about that. Giving the gift of health, I've always said for years on television, it is, one of the best things that you can really do. You really care about someone when you're trying to help them maybe with their health issues, or maybe it's the healthiest person, like I said, and it's just for longevity and just for knowledge. It's great to always learn. All right. So let's move on to zinc. And zinc is something that we know is really important for our immune system. So, my first connection with zinc was when I was in university, and you get a sore throat, probably not eating the best, exposing yourself to the elements. I had to walk from campus to get to where I was living, with cold winds and damp. And oh my goodness, I think back, oh my gosh, my immune system, no wonder I was suffering. That's when I first learned about zinc and taking zinc lozenges for a sore throat. But it didn't always make me feel so great. So getting, stomach aches and just feeling nauseous and then losing my appetite was not a good thing. And that's very common for a lot of zinc supplements that are out there, because they are, number one, the wrong type of zinc, and they don't always have what they need. So zinc needs a channel. It's called an ionophore. It needs a channel for that proper absorption. And that's when I went into formulating the zinc plus quercetin, which is actually the ionophores, the quercetin. This is something that I took into account, knowing that, it makes a lot of people feel sick when you take a zinc supplement. So this is where I did a lot of research. And this is where I found that the zinc had to be in a proper format. And the best found and studied form in terms of absorption is a zinc bisglycinate. So that's what you're getting. It's a zinc bisglycinate plus copper, and that copper needs to be in the right ratio with that zinc, and that's exactly what you're getting. So the zinc bisglycinate, the copper bisglycinate, so bound to glycine. Now glycine is important. It works like a neurotransmitter. We can be low in glycine because of modern farming, depending on where you live in the world, and because of something called glyphosate. So getting that extra glycine in is a good thing. And the right ratio of our zinc to copper, it's a 12-to-1 ratio, but it has that channel. So that quercetin is that ionophore. It's that channel which opens up that pathway for that zinc to be properly absorbed. And shiitake mushrooms. Now, shiitake mushrooms are very modulatory to the immune system, and this becomes important to help to quell down something called the cytokine storm. And this is something that we saw, and we'll take a look maybe at some of the, if we have the symptoms of a zinc deficiency. I don't know if we have that slide, if we can show you. But this was one of the things that, perfect, that we saw with people getting sick with a certain thing a few years ago. I won't mention it. We all know what it is. That one of the big symptoms was loss of taste and smell. And that's an overt zinc deficiency symptom, but also for the fact that, with the immune system, that the lungs, and there was this cytokine storm. So the lungs, and cardiovascular system had this inflammatory thing happening and a lot of problems. And that's why I put the shiitake mushrooms in the formulation to help to deal and sort of quell those inflammatory cytokines within the formula and let your immune system do what it needs to fight things off, but at the same time not being, overzealous. Let's put it that way. All right. Zinc deficiency, tiredness, exhaustion, lack of concentration, hair loss is a big one with zinc deficiency. Hey, if you're losing your hair, we have our DealDay on our collagen, so I would start with that. And if you know that, and not everybody gets their zinc tested, you wouldn't necessarily know, but if you've got some of these symptoms of a zinc deficiency, you might need to consider taking the zinc. Just 1 capsule a day is the standard dosage to help maybe with your thinning hair and hair loss, especially if you've got some of these other symptoms. If you get those little white spots on your nails, zinc deficiency, weak immune system, you're getting sick all the time. Like I said, dry eyes, blurred vision, but loss of taste and smell is a big one. Decreased libido, and for the prostate for the guys, so enlarged prostate, we will be talking about our men's formula is coming up, so stay tuned, guys, for that. Infertility issues as well can be related to low zinc. Dry aging skin, acne, and eczema related to that low zinc as well. So it's just 1 capsule a day. I absolutely love it. I believe it's one of the things that keeps me healthy in my household. And my daughter actually taught me the fact that she uses it. She went to the cabinet and she was taking the zinc out of our Vitatree cabinet. And I'm like, are you feeling okay? Do you have a sore throat? And I'm like asking her 20 questions, right? And no, Mom, I learned that zinc is great for muscle recovery after my hard workouts. I'm like, well, yeah, that is amazing. So that's one of the reasons you can take the zinc as well. Like I said, 1 capsule a day is your standard dosage, and fantastic. So check it out on Vitatree.com. Of course, everything that we're talking about today is on Vitatree.com. It's great to have you here. And Pippa is asking, yes. Okay. So my team answered it. Shipping is available to the UK for my latest book. Yeah. So absolutely. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. Devarakonda. Did I say that right? Oh, thank you. Such a nice compliment, saying a healer whose knowledge and spirit remind us that nature itself is medicine. Oh, thank you. That's so kind. Oh my goodness. I'm overwhelmed by such kindness from our commenting. So thank you to everybody who is tuning in today. Flower is asking, will that affect autoimmune progesterone dermatitis? I don't answer specific medical questions, as you can imagine, here on social media, but please get in contact with our team by email, and they can help to guide you in that way. All right, so thank you. Orthomolecular 915, zinc is awesome. Yes, thanks for tuning in today. It's great to have you here. All right, so let's continue. I just want to make mention of the fact that today is Deal Day, so great opportunity for 24 hours on our first 2 items. The men's we will be getting to just next, and that is on our super sale, which lasts a little bit longer, or as we do have supply left. But our Deal Day items just for the next day, this is it. Regular price on the AccuBlood. Remember, it's all about balancing blood glucose levels, helps with that weight loss. So if you're struggling, especially with belly fat, a great thing that you can now add to your routine. It's a whole food formulation of herbal medicines without the fillers and flow agents. It stabilizes that insulin response, which is amazing. Regular price $80.78. Look at today. I mean, today only, you can imagine why Vitatree can only do this for one day. Amazing at $54.53 on auto delivery, subscription pricing. So that is something that you can definitely get the free shipping on that as well, which is amazing. And our deal day item, again, is our collagen. So we have two today. Collagen regular price $79.98. And of course, that deal day pricing $53.99 US. Of course, we have Canadian pricing as well. You can check that out as you are ordering on the websites. But yeah, isn't this amazing? I know. Love it. Okay. Our men's, you've been waiting. All right, guys. Men's formula. It's also called Vitamins formula interchangeably. It's the exact same formulation. We're just updating our, some of our websites. We have multiple websites, so we're just updating things. So the Vitamins or men's formula from Vitatree, same formulation, but this is remarkable. So helping to protect prostate health, helping to protect testosterone levels and DHT, which is the dihydrotestosterone, which can be a little bit elevated for guys, especially as you're aging. The prostate can start to enlarge. So for the guys who didn't know, and for the women as well, I think it's interesting that the regular normal size of a prostate is about the size of a walnut. But what happens as we're aging, as a man is aging, is that the prostate starts to enlarge. And this can now cause symptoms, and urinary symptoms, because it will start to press on, the surrounding tissues, and the ureters become somewhat irritated, and there is a lack of, full urination, so frequent urination as well. Nocturia, which is getting up at night to urinate, can be related to that enlarged prostate. And certainly if you're watching and you've had your PSA level checked and it's been high in your blood work, well, that's an indication that potentially that there's some inflammatory response that's happening here. And what the research shows in terms of the ingredients in the formula is that it's very protective for balancing out that DHT, the dihydrotestosterone, and also helping to give you energy and stamina and all these things. So it's a great opportunity today. We'll show you the pricing in just a second. But yeah, so the ingredients that I put in the formula specifically for men's health, the maca root, which is an adaptogenic herbal medicine, and this helps with stress and cortisol levels. We know that stress can and does play a role in terms of what's going on with the balance of our other hormones, and something called pregnenolone steal, our cortisol levels. And that's something that, I address in my social media, and that's something that can be managed with our maca, helping to address the cortisol. And that ties back to what's happening with your testosterone. Saw palmetto helps with your DHT levels and helps to regulate that, is very anti-inflammatory for the prostate. And that's what the research shows. Stinging nettle helps with the urinary symptoms related, so that frequent urination, dribbling with urination, incomplete urination, nocturia. So having that nighttime urination, getting up, 2, 3, 4 times a night to have to urinate. This is important for the prostate. The men's formula with the stinging nettle and the pumpkin seeds give us natural zinc. And that whole food source of that zinc helps with that DHT, helps to regulate that testosterone as well. Very protective for the prostate tissue. All right. So when we look at our pricing, so this is on special pricing today with the Vitamins formula. It's a 2-bottle offer. All right. So, and this at a one-time price is $67.18 on subscription. And remember, subscription comes with the free shipping. Okay. So that's amazing. And you don't have to worry about a cancellation fee. It's all rolled into this. You can get this price and secure that price for up to a year on the men's formula. This is our most popular option, and you're saving $23.51. So that is up to 30% off with a subscription. So great value on the Vitamins formula. 2 to 4 capsules a day is your standard dosage. 2 capsules a day is what most people take. And that is 60 capsules per bottle. So when you're taking 2 capsules a day, this becomes a 60-day supply. If you're going to double it up, you're going to go through it a little bit more quickly. So just think about that. Some men do like to take a little bit more because it gives energy, stamina, and other things that we will not mention, if you can imagine. All right. Read between the lines, but this is great for men's health. Okay, so there you go. That is our men's formula and is amazing. Okay, oh, we have some great testimonials. I want to show you this really quickly. All right, so Shamal said, Vitamins has also given me a great boost of energy to start my day, allowing me to run and play with my son and helps me keep up with my basketball team that I coach. I encourage all men to use it. Thank you so much, Shamal. As well as Joseph said, with starting my own family, I want to make sure my reproductive health is taken care of. This supplement grabbed my attention for all of its benefits, which are most important to me and my family. I definitely recommend it. Well, thank you so much to our guys. I know it's hard for men to sometimes address their health issues, talk about their health issues, especially when we're talking about reproductive health and prostate and these things and urination. I mean, not every man is going to be open and willing to talk about these things, but it's great that we do have some great testimonials from our Vitamins formula, our men's formula that have come in and amazing. So just a quick review before we log off for this hour. I will be back at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our next live hour. And the next one after that is at 7 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time. So tell all your friends, make sure they tune in, make sure that you've made your purchases on Vitatree.com before we run out. As you can imagine, these deals are crazy good for you in terms of pricing. So it's only while quantities last. But remember, we had our blood sugar balance, all about weight loss, all about balancing blood glucose, insulin levels, insulin resistance, our collagen, super popular item, and our men's formula that we just talked about right here. It was a great hour. I'll see you back at 3 p.m. And yeah, have fun shopping. We'll see you then.